Note the logs and debris perched on the edge of the road, the damaged tree leaning into the timber below. These introduced hazards are serious issues for all forestry workers that come in next. So serious that a working group was formed to tackle this issue. Today, you'll hear about the recommendations of the working group and the steps that the Coast Harvesting Advisory Group is encouraging. Hazardous roadside debris is usually associated with road building in steep ground and includes introduced materials like unstable root wads, pushed over or damaged trees, unstable rock, excessive processor debris or sidecast material, overblasting, and even right-of-way wood stacked against trees to be felled. Groups working in these areas end up having to find ways to control the hazards before they work below. Here's Dave Waymer, a faller who is actively involved with falling safety initiatives and is an expert faller blaster.
There's just no way we can make this safe enough so that you can tip this timber over without the possibility of disturbing stuff that's could be rolling down from above you. You can certainly see by looking around here why you wouldn't want to be falling here. There's just all kinds of chain reactions that could potentially happen.
There are a lot of different groups that can be involved with roadside debris. Planners, engineers, road builders, blasters, and fallers all play a part. Each group needs to do their job effectively, but also needs to recognize that what they do well can set up the next phase for success, and what they do poorly can set another phase up for a big challenge or a serious incident. Everyone has a role to play. The engineer. Roads need to be built where engineers hang the centerline ribbon. This ensures roads maintain appropriate grade, link up to other road systems in challenging ground, and more. To set up all phases for success, engineers need to be skilled at road location and should clearly identify end-haul sections and spoil sites so that road builders never need to consider making changes. The licensee. The licensee pulls all the phases together and sets the standards for the work. The contract supervisor needs to put together timely approvals, effective supervision, and to only sign off on high-quality work from each phase. The faller. Generally, the faller falls the right-of-way, and after the road is built, they fall the setting. Taking down trees on the low side of the road, below a pile of debris or decked wood, is one of the more technical things that fallers have to do. At times, this work is too hazardous, and fallers have to walk away. The road builder. The road builder puts in the road as designed by the engineers. This can be difficult when there's excessive spoil material or end haul that wasn't identified ahead of time. When working in really steep ground, road builders don't always have lots of options for places to put the spoil material. Because this issue touches so many industry groups, the working group felt it was critical to engage industry for feedback and solutions. They circulated a survey and used the results to build 7 recommendations that will help prevent hazardous roadside debris. Here they are. Supervisors discuss the right-of-way strategy together. Before activities begin, the bullbucker, road building supervisor, and contract supervisor should coordinate the most effective approach for following the right-of-way, building the road, and removing logs. This requires open communication between all groups and also means that timely approvals need to be in place. Sometimes a quick conversation saves a lot of difficulties later. Recommendation 2. Road builders and supervisors evaluate and communicate changes to the centerline location. Supervisors should discuss planned deviations from the road centerline ahead of time. As previously mentioned, engineers may have a good reason for placing the centerline exactly where it is, possibly to ensure deflection for yarders. And fallers use the centerline to determine the right-of-way location. So before a machine operator changes the centerline, he should get approval from his supervisor. Recommendation 3. Fallers buck right-of-way timber to manageable lengths. In steep ground where fallers will be used to fall the right-of-way and the setting, it is beneficial to have fallers buck the right-of-way timber. Improvements occur in safety, quality, and production. Safety is improved by giving road builders more flexibility for organized placement of logs and more timely right-of-way removal prior to falling the setting. Recommendation 4. Right-of-way wood is loaded out prior to falling the setting. By loading wood out first, the potential hazards from log decks, such as runaway logs and unstable decks, are eliminated. But to load out promptly, equipment must be able to reach felled right-of-way wood, so the bullbucker needs to plan the right-of-way with the road builder. Another safety measure is that where feasible, loaders should remove hazards, like knocking down remaining danger trees within their reach, and ensure they don't create new ones. Recommendation 5. All phases provide hazard documentation to the following phase. Not only is it a legal requirement, but it is an industry standard to provide written hazard documentation of worksite hazards. We want to reiterate how important it is to pass along hazards and that it must happen between phases that won't necessarily be on site together and don't work for the same people. Recommendation 6. Supervisors train workers to minimize roadside debris hazards. Supervisors of each group need to ensure their workers know how to minimize hazards for future phases. Supervisors must be on site teaching good practices and correcting poor ones. This aligns with our legal obligations from the Occupational Health and Safety Regulation. Road or skid trail construction, including any blasting activity, must be carried out in a manner that prevents hang-ups, hanging broken tops or limbs, leaners, sidebind of push trees, or similar hazards which could endanger fallers or other workers. Recommendation 7. Supervisors make phases accountable for roadside debris hazards. To ensure that hazardous roadside debris is really taken seriously, we recommend providing road builders with standards for road construction that include roadside debris management. Road builders need to know what is acceptable and what is not. Including roadside debris management on work completion checklists and safe work procedures. And checking for excessive roadside debris hazards before signing off on the as-built road. By collaborating first, discussing centerline changes, bucking the right-of-way and loading it out before falling the setting, sharing hazards, training workers, and evaluating roadside debris, all with the next phase in mind, we become a better team. Yes, we do have challenging roads to build, but bring everyone together when you hit those tricky spots, and make sure you're doing everything you can to prevent dangerous situations for all the workers who come next. Think about it. What can you do to prevent hazardous roadside debris for your group and for everyone coming in after you?